You guys ready?
I don't know.
These are my 4 kids. You guys introduce yourself from oldest to youngest.
Just names?
Names.
I'm Cassie. I'm Abby.
I'm Caleb.
And I'm Josh.
How old are you?
33. 28.
23.
21.
You've got Cassie's the oldest, Joshua's the youngest. Which 2 of you are more alike than the other 2?
Those 2 and us 2.
Abby and
Caleb
I.
and I are so similar.
Joshua's so laid back, he forgets what he's doing when he goes. Okay, I will say, they got here today, and I said, I'm walking around trying to remember what I was doing. We have that in common.
So the oldest and the youngest are more similar, and the middle 2 are more similar. What is your favorite food?
Gravy.
Favorite gravy?
Favorite gravy. I like gravy.
Gravy.
No, I like gravy. What do you like?
Abby,
No, I know.
favorite food?
Dark chocolate M&Ms and sour gummies.
All right.
Awesome. Caleb has 3. We all know that. Caleb, favorite food?
Taco Bueno, that's not a food, that's a place, but it's really good. Mazio's. Asian Fusion. Olive Garden.
Joshua, favorite food?
Kale.
Ew.
No, I would say my favorite thing right now is buffalo sauce. It's a weird one,
that's a
but
good
I put it
one.
on
Alright.
pizza. They have like the place that has fried
Yeah.
cauliflower tossed in buffalo sauce.
Yeah.
Favorite sport? Joshua.
Football.
Football. Caleb.
I ran cross country in
Yeah.
college, so probably cross country and track.
Abby.
Basketball.
Cassie.
Football. I like football.
It's good
I will
stuff.
say, it's funny because personality-wise, they're a lot more alike and we're a lot more alike. But then, like, in likes with stupid things like that and stuff,
Yeah.
like chocolate or vanilla.
Chocolate.
Chocolate or vanilla.
Vanilla.
You know what I mean? Like something like that. And then, like, if you're like dessert or like appetizer type thing, well, you're like both.
Yeah.
So. But you know, like we like sweets a lot, and she
Yeah.
likes sweets, but she can say these 2 can do like vanilla wafers. That's a
Not to say
Yeah.
cracker.
That's
Like no, you know, it's like that kind of stuff.
Cassie is really outgoing and has a really good personality that's really good with people.
She's very laid back compared to like him.
Us.
Yeah.
So how would you
Moving on.
describe Abby? Easygoing, laid back, or
Uptight.
uptight?
She's not.
Have I taken my meds?
Yeah. Where are we?
anal.
Anal.
Yeah.
But fun.
But
like,
fun, yeah.
Fun is, I think, a really important thing. Abby she always likes to, I guess, get out there and do things and kind of make sure that everybody's having a good time and takes care of
that
them.
too. She makes sure that everybody else is included and everybody's having a good time. She's worried
Yeah.
about, not worried, but wants to make sure everybody's included. A little more uptight. little bit more than me. But very caring about other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does,
Very,
like-
very, with me and Papa, sorry. He's a caregiver. He wants to make sure that people are taken care of in a different way. Not necessarily that people are having fun, but he wants to make sure that individual one-on-one time is had with everybody that
Yeah,
he
I
cares
think the
about.
one-on-one time is very important. I think you'd rather be in a one-on-one situation than big group. You're very quiet when you get in bigger group situations.
That's true.
You don't say as much.
He's better at getting in a deep conversation than a meaningless conversation.
Did he put his shoes on?
That's the first thing I thought of.
Remember
Did he go paintballing barefoot? 'Cause
I just bought the one today.
oh my god.
Yeah, the most laid back out of all of us, but very outgoing,
Very sweet.
very sweet,
Very sweet.
cares
Will
about
do
people.
Anything anyone needs of him, and wants to help.
Yep, wants to.
It's not like
No
it's
obligation.
and it's not a pain.
If you classified yourself more on the nerd side or more on the jock side, so the nerd side, please raise your hand.
I would say I could be a halfway.
Yeah?
I mean, I think with what he was saying, like the both, I mean, to ask me to just like not do homework assignments killed me. But that wasn't because I'm a nerd, that's more my anxiety side. But I mean, because of that.
Who did homework every single day?
I think I did.
Did I? I don't
think
know.
I did.
Who would be okay with Who would be okay? Who forgot to turn homework assignments in?
I did.
Who did their homework and like left it in a folder in their backpack when it was due?
Me.
That was me.
Oh,
I did that.
do that?
So if you
Who
look,
waited till last minute?
yeah.
I do too, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
You didn't?
no. I wanted to get it over with and yeah.
I think I'm a middle of the road type of gal. I see a lot of things from both sides that are okay, but I don't think that any too much of one thing can be bad. So I feel like that there needs to be more of a coming together, a combination.
I think I'm definitely in the middle because there's things that me personally, for my morals and my values and views, I wouldn't necessarily partake in, agree with, but I also feel like other people should have their own, be able to make their own decision or think what they want to think and not be told by anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that I am like in the like a people caring class. Anything that kind of
helping others.
allows people to, I guess, care for other people or make their own decisions without being told how they should do things, I think probably would be a best description for me.
I think I would be a mix. I like what Abby and Kayla both said. Just like do what you want, I guess. So like I don't know. It's hard to classify yourself. If you're doing what you think's right, then whatever that may be, it's a mixture.
So whenever I think about love without labels, I think of a world that instead of being different races of people, we can all just be people. And instead of being different genders of people, we can all just be people. That we don't have to look at someone and say, that white guy over there or that black guy over there.
I think that there's the big, and then I think about it probably from more of a specific standpoint as far as like more unconditional than anything else. So whether or not someone hurts you or you love everything about them or whatever that might be, you can love them anyway. Because outside of all of that, they're still a person. You may not agree on everything, but that doesn't mean that you can't be compassionate and care about somebody else.
Yeah, like kind of what comes to mind, like everyone's gonna have different thoughts and different opinions on stuff and different looks and all that stuff, but the main thing at the end of the day, if someone, regardless of what they look like, where they're from, their religion, any of that, like if you can relate to them because you have the same morals or same values, whatever those may be, in a very non-spiritual way, just in a normal, everyday, I think if you can get past all that and look at that and base your relationship off that with no labels, and just if you can agree on or disagree, but have it be civil, let the other person voice the way they think about it and the way you think about it, and be like, okay, well, we disagree, but we can still coexist.
I see more of the main focus being on the word love in all of it. Labels are these words that we use as descriptors, but we also use them to cast unfair judgment as well. You look through that to see the person. There's not the negative connotation behind it. So just that you look through, you love not based upon the label, but based upon the person.
So maybe the last question for us to talk about today is, so there's obviously different races, there's different cultures, there's different spiritual backgrounds, and do you think it's important? Because we see a lot of what happens today is people think one race is superior over another race, or one spirituality is right over another spirituality, or one culture is better than another culture. If you all had to talk about that from where you're coming from, what do you think about that?
I think it's about understanding those things. So like what one culture has been through that maybe makes them the way that they are, what one religion believes or what they've been through that makes them believe the way that they believe. So it's more about being able to understand that
respecting them for the way
not
they view
using it as and it doesn't have to be negative. It can just be a thing. This is what it is, not a, well, you are that way because, but more like, let's talk about it. Let's understand where you're coming from so that I can relate to you better.
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of like what I was saying before, the whole agreeing to disagree on things and not letting it change your respect level for people and how you interact with them. That doesn't mean you have to be best friends and agree on everything and share a bunch of stuff together, but it's okay, well, you believe this and I believe this, and it doesn't mean you're right or wrong or I'm right or wrong, and we both view our, there are a lot of the things is people think that way because of stuff that they've experienced in their life. So who am I to say you've experienced this, but you shouldn't think this way when I've experienced this? I mean, it's something as little as, there's a lot of people that don't think divorce is right. But then I grew up in a divorced family, and there were a lot of benefits from the divorce. So I could never, but if that's how someone views it, that's fine. Like, if that's how you view it, I'm not saying that's wrong, but it's just gonna be something we disagree on because I was raised differently. I was brought up in a different situation.
So I think that the conversation is what is so important as we think about all of this, because like Abby said, everyone grows up in they have a different experience growing up, which makes them believe different things. And so as you're growing up in this, other people are growing up in their own different ways as well, which is ultimately going to create, even in this scenario, 4 different ways that you view the world. And so if you can sit down and have the conversation, you can understand where people are coming from and make decisions based off that. I think a lot of people go throughout life believing things because it's what they've always believed and what they've always been taught. And so you're told something and you have this inside of you that you're like, yes, okay, this is it, and that's it because that's what I've always been said it is. And unless you can try to get in somebody else's shoes who thinks differently than you do, it's really hard to grow, and the world can't go together.
Something on what you're saying, just real quick about the conversations that I think is very important is, like, if even use that divorce example, if someone's just like, I don't believe in divorce because I don't, it's hard to respect someone for that view because
You can't explain why.
they're not explaining why, and they aren't letting you understand it. Whereas if I can say, I believe in it because of my experience, and go into my experience, like the conversation, you're saying having that conversation, it's easier to break those labels down. And
Right.
Well, and I think just challenging your own beliefs, and that's kind of what you're talking about. Surrounding yourself with people that you can have that conversation that might be challenging what you're saying. And I mean, like for me, I think my biggest thing that I realized of the journey I've gone through is I couldn't say why. I couldn't sit there and go, oh, well, this is why. It was like, well, that's what I grew up thinking, so that must be true. And so once I started to be able to be like, oh, well, this is why, it's because somebody else challenged me, and then I was able to go, okay, I need to think about this for what it is, you know?
We need to be able to accept that challenge too, because
Yeah,
not
you gotta
accepting
be
it
okay with
stays
it.
in your comfort
Yep.
zone.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
when you're in your comfort zone, you can't learn and can't experience new sides. I give Caleb a bunch of, I don't give him crap for it, but I always mention it and he doesn't even remember what it was for, but there was a quote on his graduation card on the refrigerator, and it was step outside your comfort zone because that's where life truly begins. And if you stay in your comfort zone, it becomes a routine. The world's a routine. You wake up, you go to work, you do this, you come home, and then you're never really living life for the fullest. So when you can step outside of that, not only do you get to live your life differently, but meeting other people and learning about other people and why they believe what they believe. I mean, the biggest example I can give is with Josh. Doing that just for me, I could see the vast difference, and it helped me to grow in my beliefs of the world and of life and all that stuff. So not only is it important just to not live in a routine, but it helps you change your views of the world, and it's for the better almost all the time.
But not always easy.
Well, and it's not always going to be
Oh, it's
good,
gonna change.
smooth conversations.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yep.
it could be a heated conversation about something. It doesn't mean it's gonna be.
And well,
easy.
just because that's it today doesn't mean that's it tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're ever changing as human beings,
Yeah.
so you have to be adaptable.
And you do have to be, like, just adaptable and able to talk in a controlled manner because,
Respectful.
yeah, you want someone else to listen to you the same way you want to listen to them.
Yeah.
And be able to admit that you're wrong. I was telling them the other day, if we get in arguments, I get satisfaction from being right. Even if the argument doesn't come to an end, I just feel like, oh, I'm right, so I get that satisfaction, when it should be that we can come to a resolution rather than just the fact that I won. Cool, and I'm excited for that.
Don't you think a big part of the issue is when you start trying to understand other people, it is hard.
Yeah.
When you start getting outside yourself and you talk about change, now it's hard. It takes effort and it takes hard work on yourself.
Yeah.
When you learn about somebody else, everything's new to you, so you're not comfortable because it's not what you've put your foundation on. So now they are the one that's comfortable and you're uncomfortable. So